Okay. Any other questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
You said that the modern archaeologists accept the credibility of the Bible as historical evidence, right?
Many do.
Why do the academic scholars in our educational institution would why wouldn't they totally accept it or recognize the scriptures as a complete
Okay.
evidence?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, it's funny as archaeology has changed, even in the last 20 years. Um, they're going from what we call minimalists, where there's minimal evidence, especially in the Old Testament, to more of a maximalist position where the Bible is an accurate work of history. And so they will say, archaeologists will say, the Bible is important. In fact, they use the Bible as a reference very often, even more than they want to admit. But, when the Bible in the Old Testament, for example, says that Joshua uh, uh, attacked the city of Hazor, um, that's one thing. But then when the text says God gave him the victory, that's quite another. So they will affirm that the text says that, and maybe that was historical, that Joshua actually fought at Hazor. But they will never admit, of course, that God gave him the victory because that's immaterial. There's, there's no material evidence for that because archaeology is a material science. And that's the only thing that exists. It's reductionistic. Modern archaeology is atheistic in many senses and reductionistic. It only studies the material evidence. But my point is, if the Bible has been proven to be reliable over and over again, and the things it's not even trying to prove, many incidental names and places that have been uncovered by the trowel, why can't it be trusted for the spiritual claims that it is trying to persuade towards, So I think they get into divorcing the text, and when you do that, you run into problems. You're starting to cherry pick what you want to believe. Um, and I think it's arrogant because you have to get into the mind of the original writer. If you want to be true to that text and that discovery, get into the mind of the original writer as to what his purpose was in writing that. Now we arrogantly say we live in an age that's not a spiritualized culture. They were spiritual. They believed in the metaphysical realm. We don't. But who are we to redact onto them? Our lens. There's no more evidence that reductionism is true and the metaphysical realm is not. There is only from a certain diagnostic, and that is the empirical method. But there are other ways of knowing things besides the empirical method. Laws of logic are not material, yet we use them all the time. Logic. Mathematics is immaterial in some ways, and yet we use it all the time. It's a foundation of reality. These are first principles, things that just are. And that's also the case with God. So I think that these archaeologists, especially ancient Near East archaeologists, Middle East, they're all governed by modern science's stance of materialism and reductionism. So, good question. Okay. Any other questions? No other questions. Okay, thanks, folks.